Welcome, knowledge enthusiasts, to another riveting episode of Around the Knowledge. Today, we're diving deep into the chilling tale of the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. Brace yourselves as we unravel the shocking startup of Reactor 4, which ultimately led to the world's largest nuclear explosion to date. We'll explore the swift response it garnered and the profound impact it had on the world. Get ready to be captivated by this extraordinary story that changed the course of history. So, without further ado, let's embark on this gripping journey of knowledge. This is Around the Knowledge. Back in the late 1960s, the Soviet Union had big plans to boost its energy production and solidify its position as a technological powerhouse. And what better way to achieve that than through the wonders of nuclear power? That's when the decision was made to construct the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. But hey, why Chernobyl, you ask? Well, the site selection was a clever move. They picked a spot near the Pripyat River, ensuring an abundant supply of cooling water, which was crucial for the plant's operation. Construction kicked off in 1970, and by 1977, the first reactor, Reactor 1, was up and running, pumping out electricity for the masses. But they didn't stop there. 3 more reactors, Reactors 2, 3, and 4, joined the party in subsequent years. These reactors, my friends, were the RBMK 1000 type, a mouthful, I know. But what's cool about them is that they were not only great for generating electricity, but also had the added perk of producing weapons-grade plutonium. Talk about a power-packed punch. The Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant was supposed to be a shining symbol of Soviet innovation and energy prowess. It was meant to supply a significant portion of Ukraine's electricity needs, supporting the country's economic growth and industrial development. But alas, as we know, things took a dark turn. The RBMK reactors that powered Chernobyl had some serious safety flaws. Combine that with inadequate safety regulations and insufficient operator training, and you have a recipe for disaster. And disaster did strike on that fateful day, April 26, 1986. Reactor 4 experienced a catastrophic accident, unleashing the worst nuclear disaster the world has ever seen. But let's not forget that this tragic event served as a wake-up call for the entire nuclear industry. It highlighted the need for enhanced safety standards and better regulation to prevent such catastrophic accidents in the future. The Chernobyl disaster changed the game, my friends, forcing the world to rethink its approach to nuclear energy and prioritize safety like never before. So there you have it, the gripping story behind the start of the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. It was a tale of ambition, innovation, and ultimately, a tragic reminder of the risks associated with nuclear power. Stay curious, my friends, and keep seeking knowledge. Hey there, knowledge seekers. Before we continue delving into the captivating story of the Chernobyl disaster, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying this story and want to see more content like this, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and share this video with your fellow curious minds. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue bringing you fascinating stories and insights. So go ahead, show some love, and let's keep the knowledge flowing. Now, let's get back to uncovering the secrets of Chernobyl. The juicy details of where it all went wrong and who's to blame. Brace yourselves, knowledge seekers, as we dive into the twists and turns of the Chernobyl disaster. You see, the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant had a reactor design known as the RBMK 1000. Now, this design had a few, shall we say, quirks that ultimately contributed to the catastrophic accident. One of the key flaws was what's called a positive void coefficient. Sounds fancy, right? Well, it essentially means that when the coolant water turns into steam, the reactivity of the reactor increases. And not in a good way, mind you. So, on that fateful night of April 26, 1986, reactor operators were conducting a safety test. They wanted to see if the turbines could generate enough power to keep the cooling pumps running during a blackout. But here's where things took a tragic turn. To perform the test, they had to shut down some important safety systems, a decision that would prove disastrous. As the test began, the power level of the reactor plummeted to an unexpectedly low point. In a rush to stabilize it, the operators made a critical mistake. They withdrew control rods too far from the core, a move that practically turned Reactor 4 into a ticking time bomb. With the control rods out, the reactor power surged to dangerous levels. Boom! The steam pressure spiked, causing a steam explosion that ripped the reactor apart. But that wasn't the end of the nightmare. The explosion exposed the graphite moderator, which ignited, resulting in a fire that burned for days, spewing radioactive materials into the atmosphere. So, who's to blame for this disaster? Well, my friends, it's not as simple as pointing fingers at one individual. The Chernobyl disaster was a culmination of design flaws, technical shortcomings, and human error. Yes, the operators made critical mistakes, but they were operating within a system that lacked sufficient safety measures and training. The Soviet Union's political and cultural factors also played a part in the chain of events. In the aftermath, investigations and inquiries were conducted, and measures were taken to improve safety standards and prevent such tragedies in the future. Lessons were learned, regulations were tightened, and the global approach to nuclear energy was forever changed. So, there you have it, where it all went wrong and the complex web of factors that contributed to the Chernobyl disaster. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of robust safety measures, proper training, and thorough risk assessments in the world of nuclear power. Stay informed, my friends, and keep questioning. This is Around the Knowledge. When that dreadful day, April 26, 1986, rolled around, the Chernobyl disaster unleashed havoc on a massive scale. Firstly, the plant workers and brave emergency responders who rushed to the scene were exposed to dangerously high levels of radiation. It's heartbreaking to think about the lives lost and the immediate impact on those brave souls. But it didn't stop there, my friends. The city of Pripyat, with its bustling population of around 50,000, had to be evacuated swiftly to protect people from further radiation exposure. Imagine the chaos and urgency as everyone was forced to leave their homes and belongings behind, never to return. And let's talk about the affected areas. The radioactive materials released into the atmosphere spread far and wide, casting a shadow of contamination over parts of Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. These areas experienced varying levels of radiation, with some places becoming so highly contaminated that they remain uninhabitable to this day. Can you imagine entire regions transformed into ghost towns? Now, let's fast forward to the long-term impact, my curious friends. The health effects have been devastating. The affected population has faced increased rates of cancers, thyroid disorders, and other radiation-related illnesses. Children and pregnant women, in particular, have been the most vulnerable to these health risks. It breaks our hearts to think about the suffering caused by this tragedy. To mitigate the disaster's effects, immediate measures swung into action. Emergency responders worked tirelessly to contain the fire and prevent further radiation leaks. Evacuation plans were swiftly implemented, relocating the affected population to safer locations. These efforts saved countless lives and prevented further immediate harm. But the journey didn't end there, my knowledge-seeking comrades. Long-term measures and plans were put into motion to restore some sense of normalcy. Massive structures, such as the sarcophagus and later the new safe confinement (NSC), were constructed to enclose the damaged reactor and minimize radiation leaks. The mission? To keep the world safe from the clutches of this nuclear nightmare. Decontamination and cleanup became the name of the game. Contaminated soil was meticulously removed, buildings were demolished, and fresh topsoil was brought in to rejuvenate the land. These measures aimed to reduce radiation levels and allow for safer long-term use of the affected areas. It's truly a monumental effort to reclaim what was once lost. Of course, the health and well-being of the affected population remained paramount. Extensive health monitoring programs were put in place, ensuring that individuals received specialized care and support. Scientists and researchers delved deep into understanding the long-term effects of radiation exposure, conducting studies on environmental impact, health risks, and biodiversity in the affected regions. Slowly but surely, my friends, the affected areas are healing. Ongoing research and monitoring continue to shape the plans and measures taken, with a delicate balance between safety considerations and the potential for controlled and regulated tourism and economic revitalization. The Chernobyl disaster remains etched in our collective memory, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked nuclear power and the enduring resilience of the human spirit. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep seeking knowledge. This is Around the Knowledge. Before we sign off, my amazing viewers, I have a special request for you all. The Chernobyl disaster serves as a stark reminder of the importance of safety, preparedness, and responsible use of powerful technologies. So here's my request: let's all take a moment to reflect on the lessons learned from Chernobyl and apply them to our own lives. First and foremost, prioritize safety in everything you do. Whether it's at home, at work, or in any situation, be aware of potential risks and take precautions to protect yourself and those around you. Learn from the mistakes made in Chernobyl and ensure that safety protocols are in place and followed. Secondly, never stop seeking knowledge. Educate yourself about the potential risks and benefits of technologies that shape our world. Stay informed about the advancements in safety measures, regulations, and best practices. Knowledge is power, and by being well informed, you can make smarter choices that promote safety and well-being. Lastly, let's foster a culture of responsibility and accountability. Encourage open dialogue and transparency in industries and institutions that deal with powerful technologies. Hold them accountable for adhering to strict safety standards and ensure that appropriate regulations are in place to safeguard our communities. Remember, my incredible viewers, we all have a role to play in ensuring a safe and sustainable future. So let's honor the memory of those affected by the Chernobyl disaster by taking these lessons to heart and making a positive impact in our own lives and the world around us. Thank you for joining me on this enlightening journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who seek knowledge. Together, we can create a safer and brighter future. Until next time, stay curious and keep making a difference. This is Around the Knowledge, signing off with a special request to all of you.